The year is 2025. Donald J. Trump, no longer confined to the digital birdcage of Twitter, is back in the political arena. This time, it's a battle over the nation's checkbook. And as always with Trump, it's a spectacle that has America glued to their screens. Trump, with his signature flair for the dramatic, has thrown his weight behind a Republican budget blueprint that has sent shockwaves through Washington. The plan, a heady cocktail of tax cuts and spending reductions, has become a lightning rod for controversy, splitting Congress down party lines and igniting fierce debates across the country. This isn't just another dry budgetary exercise, it's a high-stakes showdown with major implications for the American people. Will this budget be a recipe for economic prosperity, as Republicans claim, or will it leave the most vulnerable Americans out in the cold, as Democrats argue? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: America is in for a bumpy ride. At the heart of this budgetary brawl is, of course, President Trump himself. Never one to shy away from a fight, Trump has been working the phones, rallying his Republican allies in Congress to push through his ambitious economic agenda. He's hosted lawmakers at the White House, promising victory and wielding both carrot and stick to ensure their loyalty. Leading the charge in the House of Representatives is Speaker Mike Johnson, a staunch Trump ally. Johnson, facing fierce opposition from Democrats and some within his own party, has his work cut out for him. He's walking a tightrope, trying to appease the different factions within the Republican Party while also keeping Trump happy. Then there's Steve Scalise, the House Majority Leader known for his political maneuvering and ability to wrangle votes. Scalise is the man on the ground, working behind the scenes to ensure that the budget resolution passes. He's the vote counter, the whip, the guy who makes sure that when the roll is called, the Republicans have the numbers. The GOP budget blueprint is a study in contrasts. On one hand, it promises sweet relief for taxpayers in the form of a whopping $4.5 trillion in tax breaks. These cuts, an extension of the tax cuts passed during Trump's first term, are music to the ears of businesses and high-income earners. But on the other hand, the budget calls for a hefty $2 trillion in spending cuts, targeting a wide range of federal programs and services. While Republicans argue that these cuts are necessary to rein in government spending, Democrats and advocacy groups warn that they will have devastating consequences for ordinary Americans. From education to healthcare to environmental protection, the budget proposes to slash funding for programs that millions of Americans rely on. The debate over these cuts goes to the very heart of the role of government. Should it provide a safety net for its citizens? Or should it prioritize economic growth even if it means leaving some behind? Section 4. Democrats cry foul. A betrayal of the American people? Democrats, outraged by the GOP budget proposal, have denounced it as a heartless attack on the poor and middle class. They argue that the massive tax cuts for corporations and the wealthy will come at the expense of vital social programs that Americans depend on. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, a vocal critic of the Trump administration, has called the budget resolution a betrayal of the American people and a blueprint for American decline. He argues that the budget will exacerbate income inequality, undermine access to health care, and jeopardize the future of the American dream. Democrats have vowed to fight tooth and nail against the budget, but their options are limited. With Republicans controlling both the House and the Senate, the Democrats face an uphill battle in their quest to defeat the budget resolution. They're hoping to use their platform to highlight the flaws in the budget and mobilize public opinion against it. Section 5. The People's Revolt, Town Halls and Twitter Trends. The GOP budget battle isn't just playing out in the halls of Congress, it's also ignited a firestorm of controversy across the country. From town halls to Twitter, Americans are making their voices heard and they're not happy. Voters, concerned about the potential impact of the budget cuts, are confronting their elected officials at town hall meetings, demanding answers and expressing their outrage. Social media is abuzz with hashtags like #SaveOurPrograms and #TrumpBudgetCuts, as Americans take to their keyboards to vent their frustrations. The public backlash is forcing lawmakers to take notice. Even some Republicans facing pressure from their constituents are expressing reservations about the budget. The question is, will this public outcry be enough to sway the GOP from its current course?